There's a soldier up here.
For the comfort, safety, and viewing pleasure of all our guests, we ask that you refrain from flash photography for the duration of our presentation. If you must leave during the presentation, please exit through the doors on your right. Thank you.
You are now in the final minutes before the launch of Apollo 8, right here, where it actually happened. Mankind is about to leave his planet behind and journey to another. It is one of those rare moments when history is not being made, destiny is being embraced.
Once we do get the final command, the various tanks, so 3, 6, and 7, 5, once the vehicle begins to pressurize. We have final command is in, we're final command is 20 seconds. Our status report indicates that all astronauts are ready, instrument computers ready, spacecraft ready, final check of the emergency detection system, that will be right also now. First stage preparations are completed. Objective A, okay. Standing by, so that we can find one, turn over, go handles. And now we report that they will have to determine the first stage is pressurized, 1 minute 15 seconds. All first stage are pressurized at this time, around the 60-second mark on the close to the moment. 60 seconds. Having the vehicle now is completely pressurized.
This spacecraft, Apollo 8. We were the first men to see the surface of the moon from just a few miles away. It was the hundreds of thousands of men and women who worked in that team and the millions of people who supported the mission that really made it possible. That way, I guess, we all went to the moon. Now, on the other side of those doors, you'll find an actual Saturn V moon rocket. It's still the most powerful, the most complex machine ever built. And I guess it's the only one that can take you to another planet. I actually had to fly one on a second flight to the moon called Apollo 13. But that's another story.
Dun.
I'd be in the shine of the Albany of the earth, and then I would be in complete darkness and then get into full sunlight again. And that happened every 2 hours during the flight. That corner, that 90 degrees around the moon, where I was in shadow for both the sun and the earth, was kind of mind-blowing. I could see a universe that I was not expecting. There were probably 10 million times more stars than you could see through.
So you can ask him questions and he'll answer them.
Hi, I'm Al Word. I was a command module pilot on Apollo 15, which was a lunar landing mission that flew in 1971. Apollo 15 was considered the most scientific flight in the Apollo program, and I was very pleased to be a member of that crew. If you look in front of you, you'll see a touchscreen, and if you touch some of the buttons on the screen, it'll ask questions, and I'll be very happy to answer. I did a deep spacewalk on the way back home from the moon. We're about 50,000 miles this side of the moon. The reason I did that spacewalk is because I had those 2 large cameras in the sim bay. One was the mapping camera, the other was the high resolution camera, and the film cassettes from those 2 cameras had to be brought back into the command module, because the only thing that survives a flight is what's inside the command module. I made 2 trips out, got the mapping camera film cassette, and then went out and got the high resolution cassette and took them back in, and Jim Irwin stored them under the couch. I went back on a 3rd time just to look around, and I got all the way to the back of the service module, put my feet in some foot restraints so I wouldn't be floating off, and just stood up and looked around. And it was an absolutely amazing sight, unbelievable view. Pierre Mion came along, he painted that picture of me doing the spacewalk, and I gave him all the details of the things that he needed to put in that picture. You see Jim Irwin standing in the hatch, the moon's behind him, and in his visor is my reflection. The moon was very large at that point, the earth was still pretty small, but it was an unbelievable sight. Hi, I'm Al Word. On our way to the moon, and that was when we had to pull the lunar module out of its stowage in the last stage of the booster, or the S4B. I would back out a little ways, let the automatic system change the spacecraft, flip it around, and line it up with the lunar module. I found that the automatic system would follow what we call a great circle route, which means that it would go directly from one point to the other, and it would, to keep it on that route, it would fire thrusters all the way around. What I found if I did it manually is I could do 1 thrust, flip it over 180 degrees, 1 thrust forward.
What is this? Become part of a people's mind. Try to the camera. I don't know what this is. I don't think it's working. So that'll part would drop off. And that would be what this was.
river by the time we get to the banks of the Indian River in Titusville. It's just a few minutes before launch. And interesting, there's no traffic moving on US 1's the highway. It's 4-lane, but the cars are just sitting.
Can Gigi. I didn't realize the rocker was clear like that, so you can see everything inside of it. So that would be this part. And then would be this part. And that tiny part over there would be this one right there. Dun, 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 dun. So each Apollo has its own number and the people who went on it. Find out facts about the moon. Teach us, Judy. Scary. How very creative the moon rock cafe. Ketchup, mustard, honey mustard, barbecue sauce, mayonnaise. Toilets with both ends. What is this? Let's find out. Astronauts. Man on the moon dilation diagram. Oh, you can dress your own astronaut. This is a memorial for the 3 people who died. your own one. Lever by themselves and their family. Personal belongings. So many Apollo missions. Gigi, it's like the roller coaster sits. That's where they're sitting. That's where the people are sitting. On the very top triangle.
We come to you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
A short time later, history is made again.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
For one incredible moment, we are one people with one history, watching our destiny unfold.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong, 38-year-old American.
It was a moment shared by an entire world.
Dear man from the planet Earth, first set foot upon the moon. It came in peace for all mankind.
With these first steps, mankind stood on the highest ground, and we saw our planet as our home port in the endless ocean of space.
There was something which was surprising to me. That occurred as I was standing on the surface. Just after we had landed, I'd gone down, standing on the surface and looking at planet Earth for the first time. Seeing the beauty, seeing the finiteness of it, the limits of it. Realizing what a shame it was that people were confronting each other on that planet without realizing what it was doing to the planet. It was a very emotional moment for me. I actually shed a couple of tears. Something totally unexpected for an engineer, fighter pilot to be.
Go up there and find out what's really up there.
I would like to be an astronaut. I like to design rockets.
Payload specialist.
I'd be ground controls. The thing that my mom can't understand is I'm terrified of heights, but I want to be an astronaut.
There's so many things I'd love to do. I would explore, I'd look for everything.
I would try to start a farm.
Millions of other galaxies that you might be able to live in.
It's the unknown. Anything's possible.
You may be able to cure certain diseases.
On Mars and dance on it.
Play basketball, but you can still be short, because then you could like fly up in the air.
Baseball would be awesome.
Hit the ball, you get a home run every time.
There are a lot of things that can benefit mankind that we, because of science, we simply cannot do on Earth.
It's such a big universe, and it's kind of strange to think that just this one tiny planet was chosen to have life on it.
I hear they're finding new planets or moons, and they're finding out more about how stars are working.
Nice.
That was kind of interesting. I don't think I knew that. I don't think that I knew that they lost contact with their ground base. Sorry. That's the one that they said they won't let them wash it.
That's what I said 2 weeks ago.
Jordan, you have to save it.
Watching the space movie. Space maze.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good. Se lo fumo foto de él. لما أخوها كم أكلمه
This is all they recovered of him.
Ja, de verrazella levenim.
This is interesting. You ever look at this right here? Hard suits revealed that the human body has tendency to compress when it's seated. Yeah, it's making it difficult to see out of the tunnel.
This is from Apollo 16.
I'm astronaut Duke. I'm Charlie Duke, astronaut, Apollo 16, Lunar Module pilot. I also work on 40 other missions of Apollo. I worked in mission control at Capcom, Apollo 10. I worked on the moon.
Interesting to see like
Yeah, from the 14, 16, 17 right here.